Did you ever notice that she slowly replaced the children of her first marriage with her own? I wonder if you ever took a moment to reflect on all the times where you stood and watched as she laid her hands on me again and again and again. Did you even listen when I would cry to you about the way we were being treated? I was 7 and helpless and you did nothing. Was 9-year-old me running away in the middle of the night not enough for you to realize the monster you had let into our family? I wonder when it became acceptable in your own twisted mind to hold us at arm's length, close enough that we would fight for your attention, but far enough away that we felt forgotten. I wonder if this helped you justify it for yourself. And you too began to take part in her cruel antics, whilst us children stood helpless against the court. After all, who would believe a child's word when you were so careful to never leave a physical mark? Looking back, I realize how stupid I was to keep fighting for your love, and whatever love you may have felt for me was kept trapped in a cage. The key held by the same woman who stole you from us. Every now and then, memories of our life before she came break through. And for a moment, I forget what you have done and who you are now. It was memories like these that allowed me to forgive you repeatedly when I was younger. But I know better now.
Tis but a spot. Out, damned spot, out, I say! 1, 2. Why, then 'tis time to do it. Hell is murky. Oh, fie, my lord, fie! A soldier and afeard! What needs we fear who knows it when none can call our power into account? Yet who would have thought the old man to have had so much blood in him? The Vane of Fife had a wife. Who is she now? What? Will these hands ne'er be clean? Well, no more of that, my lord, no more of that. You mar all with this starting. Here's the smell of blood still. Oh, the perfumes of Arabia will not sweeten this little hand. Oh. Wash your hands. Put on your nightgown. Try not to look so pale. I tell you again, Banquo's buried. He cannot come out on his grave. To bed. To bed. There's knocking at the gate. Oh, come. Give me your hand. What's done cannot be undone. To bed. To bed. To bed.
Why am I hurt?
Are you seriously fucking asking me that? Everything you say, everything that comes out of your mouth is hurt. Is pain. You don't know how to say things, how to word things. All I asked for you to do was to understand me, to listen to me, and to empathize with me. But of course you can't do that because you think about it yourself. You're fucking selfish, and everything you love is you. You don't love anyone else. You don't love me. I don't even know what you stand for. You manipulate everyone you know. What is wrong with you? You hurt people. You hurt me. You're supposed to love me. All I ever did was love you and your family. That's all I ever fucking did. And this is how you respond to me. Do you really think it's fair? Do you? Because I don't fucking know. I'm not gonna talk to you anymore. If you do one day decide to fucking listen to me, I guess I'm all ears. But all you're doing now is do everything that you do. One after the other. Manipulate, 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 manipulate. I can't deal with this anymore, I can't. If you do decide to listen to me, call me. But I'm not going to talk to you. Right now. I don't want to.
Can I go now? To be or not to be, that is the question. And you don't seem to give a damn whether or not I live or die. Because you know that I'll get through it. You know that I'll be fine. You just know that about me. But what you don't know is what it takes to be me. You see, it's not just this family. This society that puts on the pressures. It's this internal fucking monster that tears away at you continuously. Reminds you how fucking useless you are. Every single day. You start to believe it. You start to realise that no one hears you scream. No one at all. So what's the point? You may as well just take control. Because in the control you have power. And when you have power, you have a future. And when you have a future, you can step on every single person that gets in your way. So the next time that you look at me, myself, and I dare you. Just look a little closer. Because you may just see your own reflection, Dad. Can I go now?
At the time, I didn't understand what my dad was saying, but I knew he wasn't singing Christmas carols anymore. Sirens matched the haunting screams of my mum's as she ran along the wet sand, her footprints being washed away in time. The waves caressed the shore. It tickled my toes. If only I could... Mum tried to hold back the tide as the tears bathed my tiny body. How could it be? The trailers had only just started playing and the credits were already rolling. I've always wanted to be that character. The one that once you finish the film, you know this person. You know me. You see, it's the intensity of the light source that will define the truth, the meaning. Their shadows dance between my eyes, so we continue to revolve around the sun. The pounding on my chest almost felt like someone was drilling my heart into Middle Earth. Da-dum, 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 da-dum. 10 years on, me and my family continue to celebrate Christmas Day down at the beach. I survived. But not every kid will get to swim and laugh out loud as the waves tickle their toes.
Yet there's a spot still. Out! Damn spot, out, I say! 1, 2. Why then, 'tis time to do it.
Hell is murky.
Why, my lord's fire? Soldier in a field? What need we fear, who knows it? And there's none to call our power to account. Yet who would have thought? The old man to have so much blood in him. But then if I've had a wife, where is she now? And will his hands ever be clean? No more of that, my lord, no more of that. You marvel this with starting. Why, here's the smell of blood still. Or the perfumes in Arabia. Could not sweeten this little hand. Oh!
You want to know my name? What's in a name? It's what's given to you at birth, or even before you're born. But the funny thing is that no one remembers it when they first meet you, let alone you. So I decided to change it. It's better to stay alone, anonymous, unidentified, to belong to no one. For the first 10 years of my life, I guess you're wondering how old I am. I look 18, don't I? I was led to believe that I was somewhat wanted, somewhat loved, somewhat home. But how can you be home when the door's locked from the outside? Latchkey kids, they call us. All I remember from those days are the taillights of my mum's car driving away, night after night. And you chase after her, wailing and begging her to stay, night after night. So you end up leaving the door open. Because what's the difference? I remember hours passing as I held my baby brother to sleep, only to wake with her singing from the kitchen downstairs like she never left. But she's wearing the exact same clothes that she rode off in. And her hot breath hits your face as she kisses you on the forehead, and the smell of cheap perfume fills the air. Cover up the booze and cigarettes. That's what you want me to say, isn't it? But no. It's from hard work and sacrifice. The thing is, Sergeant, no matter how much a parent sacrifices, nothing makes up for the neglect or the guilt that they make you feel when you get older. You see, I know my mother did the best she could, as my father left before I was even born. But after a while, it becomes a noose around your neck. And the fastest release is to jump. So I jumped. You want to know my name? Your daughter.
Scared? No, I'm not scared. I'm petrified, mortified, horrified, terrified, and yeah, so scared. I'm scared of mirrors and places. I'm scared of what runs through my brain, what my thoughts are, what I think, what comes out of my mouth, what's on my tongue. And don't tell me that this is normal and that I am okay, because I am not. I am on edge in an overdrive 105% of the time, because I don't know when I'm going to slip and somebody else is going to come through. Because all of this is fake, because everything is fake, and nothing is real, but nothing is fake, and everything is real, but the opposite of fake is not real. It's a concept. It's there to make us feel safer, provide us a purpose, but how can reality provide a purpose when it's deceptive? How can the truth make us feel calm when it's twisted and can't be proven to be fully true? And how can the realest and rawest of things be good when real and raw things strip us of ourselves entirely? It's just like how people are scared of the dark. They're not actually scared of the consuming blackness or the loss of a sense. They're scared of what they can't control. We aren't scared of needles and heights. We're scared of the uncontrollable, and that is why I am terrified of myself. Because I am one mind maneuvering one body, and there are so many voices in my head, and none of them have control. But I am not real, and you are not real, and the doctors and nurses and patients and that random lady who comes in 5 times today to tell me that I am okay and that I'm safe, she's wrong, and we're not real! But I can feel things. I can feel the pin that I have to put in my school jumper so I know where I am, but that doesn't explain how when I end up in 6th period math class and have no clue how I got there. Or I can go 3 weeks of my life as somebody completely different. Because I don't know how many voices are in my head, who they are, or what they're doing. I don't know if I became one of them, got killed, or got completely lost along the way. I just know that normal people don't feel like this.
I'd put Azaria down in the tent to sleep. That's when I returned to the barbecue area when Michael and the others who were with us heard the baby cry out. I went to check on her, and that's when I saw a dingo, a wild dog, coming out of the tent with something in its mouth, and I yelled, "The dingo's got my baby." It's a statement of fact, and it's very clear. I now know it's considered too clear. Apparently it would have been more believable if I'd choked, hysterical, "In the tent! Get out!" Oh, they would have liked that. "Get away from her! Get away, you! Get away from my baby!" Or maybe just a blood-curdling scream and instant tears. They wouldn't have laughed at that. But that's not what I do, and that's not going to help. I didn't get hysterical or emotional because I wasn't thinking of myself. I was thinking there might still be a chance. So I give the news as clearly and precisely as I can. The dingo's got my baby. So that I don't have to waste time with the what is it, what's happened, what's wrong. Because she's gone. And you can't unlose her. And you can't for a minute indulge your feelings, so you yell, "The dingo's got my baby." And that's where it all begins. But others said that a dingo couldn't carry a 10-pound animal, that there had to be another explanation, a darker explanation, one that involved nail scissors, and a woman who could decapitate her own child with nail scissors, and a mother who had given birth and dressed her in a lemon-trimmed matinee jacket and then hacked off her head with nail scissors. With nail scissors. Do you know how small nail scissors are? Not supposed to focus on the nail scissors. Supposed to be horrified at the idea of blood and skin and mess. Supposed to cry a little and grimace a lot at the thought of decapitation. Silly man. I didn't even use nail scissors, I used nail clippers. Well, the ones they found later fell in half when I went to test them and there was no blood on them. But the papers were so keen on describing exactly what would happen if I cut my baby's throat with nail scissors.
Last time I saw Frank was in the gym. He looked great. I mean, who would have thought that a guy who was so full of life, always smiling, would actually kill himself? But I guess you never really know. You never really know what's going on inside a person. I mean, Frank must have had all these problems that we didn't know about because he never let on. Never told anyone about what he was going through. If he actually came for help, maybe we could have. He seemed like the last guy that would. When they told me, I was shocked. I mean, one minute here he is laughing and making jokes, and then the next minute he's gone. Really makes you think. Makes you think about how many people are like this, are like Frank. I just wish I could have seen what he was going through. I'm sorry that I wasn't a better friend to Frank. I'm sorry.
Sweet Jesus. Did I tell you the story of when Shane and I went to Bobby Sands' funeral? We got the first bus from Waterside and it's coming down stair rods all the way. 6 a.m. and the coach was sardines and we stood up the whole way riding into Belfast on the way to the funeral. The driver's got the radio on full blast and your man's there saying 80, 90,000 folk lining the street. The bus is red hot, steamed up, dripping down the windows. Banners, flags, oh far. We haven't got no banner, no flag. All we've got is a fucking Bic. This big biro, right, so I take it out and I write your man's name on my hand, and Shane writes it on his too. Bobby Sands, R.I.P. And we go to write in the back of our jacket, the fucking biro packs in. And all it says on my back is B.O. I'm gonna walk around all day with B.O. on my back like it's some sort of warning, some sign for the rest of their morning to stay clear of me. And this old girl's 80 years old. She reaches in her bag. She just have a can. A fucking aerosol. 10 rain wean. And so we stand side by side, backs to her, and she sprays justice across both our backs in black fucking aerosol. So we ride into the funeral, all the way into the sea with the whole bus screaming, chanting, and as we get closer they start chanting, justice, justice, justice. By the time we got to St. Luke's, the whole place is jammed. They're standing. They've rigged up speakers, but there's 4 or 5 helicopters circling a chapel. You can't see a hero fucking thing. Just the backs of steaming coats and helicopters. So they lift your man out, lift out the coffin and place it on trestles. And that's the first glimpse of the boy from Twinbrook. 6 deep for 9 miles. We crawl our way to the front and you can see it coming. This black van, and it passes, and as it does, the whole crowd starts chanting your man's name. Bobby Sands! Bobby Sands! Bobby Sands!
I am blank, devoid of content. I wake up exhausted. How I used to feel hours after a race when I was well. I remain exhausted all day. I can't sleep, ever. On a good day, I'll get a 20 to 30 minute burst of energy around midday. Not energy. Rather, my exhaustion reduces down to a normal tiredness. That's my peak. 20 minutes of non-exhaustion is all I get. Mundane tasks take me forever. I start something in that delicious tiredness zone, get part of the way through, and then crash. If I'm lucky, I'll pick it up the next day. Probably the next week. It's like the rest of the world is moving in slow motion, and I'm the only one going at normal speed. I wake up, my best friend meets someone. I brush my teeth, they're engaged. I sit down for lunch, their kid is 3. By dinner, she's a doctor, and me? I'm part way through filling out a medical form in that time. I'm decades behind. It's like traveling faster than the speed of light. By the time I see something, I've already gone past it. The speed at which invisible shadows cast themselves over darkness. I have nothing. Technically I'm here, but I'm missing from my own life. I am blank.
I don't know. I don't know. Why does there have to be an answer to every bloody question you ask me? Maybe there is no need to give an opinion. Everyone has one like assholes. Half times it's noise, the words people use to contribute to the meaningless jargon and small talk. Fuck small talk. The moment you let them in, they burn you. They think they own you and know you. Just leave in peace. I don't need your bullshit concern for my future or what childhood trauma I suffered. I've just been born enough to write that best-selling novel and fill the covers of every non-eventful magazine talk show. No words. No song. We'll bring it back. Nothing will bring it back. Yeah. That was the song playing on the radio today. We had the accident. Just no fucking accident. I killed my father. I said, I killed my father! The man that brought me up now is dead. 6 feet under, everywhere I walk, he's there looking up at me, begging me to stop. Son, you're going too fast, slow down. Nah, Dad, I can handle it. Come on, son, slow down. You're going to get me in trouble with your mother. Nah, Dad. Let's open her up.
I'm bored. I'm so bored it makes me want to do something naughty. It makes me want to sneak into the Queen's chamber and put my pet frog Dennis on the pillow next to her when she's asleep. Then I'll hide in the closet and when Dennis ribbits, because he always ribbits, at least once a minute, she'll wake up with a start. Yes, she'll wake up with a start, sit up and look all around her, and then see him, Dennis, staring back up at her from the next pillow. Then she'll scream like this. Oh no, a frog, get it away! Help, help, maids, guard, somebody please, help! That would be funny, and completely worth it if I get caught. No one ever told me that being a princess would be so very boring. The way they all talked about it, they made it seem like the most exciting thing ever. I'd get to live in a big palace, have lots of beautiful clothes, the people would adore me. I'd want for nothing more. That's what my fairy godmother said. That's what the evil stepmother said. That's what the mice, the birds, and even the pigs said. That I'd live happily ever after. What a dip! The palace is so big, I keep getting lost. The clothes look beautiful, but they're itchy and heavy and make me sweat. The people don't adore me, they ignore me because they've all got jobs to do and don't have time to talk to me. Mainly because I have to bow and scrape every time they do so. I want for everything. A friend, a job, a purpose, a life. I don't want to be a princess anymore.
It's hard, you know, to trust someone. I don't think I ever really have before. My mum used to be so different. It's hard to remember now, but I just get pictures sometimes. You know, when you get a picture in your head of something and you just know it's going to last your whole life. Like it prints on your mind at the oddest moments. You just get flashes of it that drag you right back to that moment. Pictures that make time like stand still, make you forget where you are and what you're doing. The first time I saw my mum with a black eye was one of those. She was making breakfast, and she just turned around and looked at me. And I just stared. It was as if I was staring through her eyes. Like there was nothing there. She just looked so old. She looked at me for a second, but she didn't say anything. She didn't need to. I knew what she meant. And I swore to myself that I was never going to let that happen to me. I was never going to love somebody so much that I would let them do that to me. So I never have. And I never will. I don't talk about my dad. Because to me, he's not even there. He only exists to me as this kind of blur, this huge figure that used to terrify us. Till eventually got bored. When he went, I was so happy. I thought that everything was going to be so different. But it wasn't. Because my mum just took his place. And I took hers.
Hey babe, tell me what you wanna be